Okay guys, let's move across with another video जहाँ हम देखेंगे prerequisites requirement for the Google ADK and developments. So basically, in the last video we just discovered some of the basics knowledge of the Google ADK and all. Then we'll proceed move forward क्योंकि कुछ ना कुछ अभी हमें requirements होगी Google ADK developments के लिए, like somehow some of the basic knowledge of AI and some of the basic knowledge of OOPS and all, and on depth knowledge of the Python and well. Okay, so they have some synchronization, asynchronization concepts to be clear, threading concepts should be clear. So yeah, so let's start with the some of the prerequisites that which is required for the Google ADK development before that. Yeah. So first is programming knowledge. So programming knowledge is all about the Pythons and some of the OOPS language because we need to create the classes for the DB callings and all. We should know well about the OOPS concept and all, and some of the basic LLM understanding of like large language models and all, and some of the basic NLP's concept that you have already gone through before to go into the Google ADK development. So I'm not saying like it's very difficult to understand to create these frameworks and to create your or you need to require some of the depth knowledge of the LLMs and all. You should have a prior knowledge, right? How they this RAG's application is work, and how they created and extracting their data from PDFs and files and all, and how they can just run accordingly as a augmented models and all. And yeah, so this is like the programming knowledge that you have just gone through with the asynchronous programming and all. And the second one is the environment setups. These are the some of the environment setup that you have required to know before going to as a development knowledge. Okay, so you should have a Python 3.10 plus that should be required, and you have a prior default PIP installations. You have to knowledge how you can just create the VNV and virtual environments and all, and some of the Git and VS Code that this is primarily. So we are using the cursors and VS Code. This is highly demand for the AI knowledge. Okay, so मैं नहीं कहता कि AI is not a good if you are using इज कि कुछ दिक्कत कर सकता है या फिर आपको नॉलेज गेन नहीं होगा, बट स्टिल कि दिस इज द न्यू थिंग. अगर आप एआई पे भी सर्च करोगे तो इजीली नहीं मिलेगी आपको. तो या you should be more relevant this part. This is the basic setup that which is creating the VNV, ADK VNV, and the how you can just activate the VNV and all. This is not required at all as of now. We don't need for the Windows perspective. Sorry, yeah, we need this Windows perspective because to be activated. Yeah, and for the PIP upgrade, that which is should be a latest version point. Yeah, install required libraries. Some of the libraries like Google ADK have a by default libraries. They have separate documentation accordingly. And आपको थोड़ा ओपन एआई और गूगल जेनेटिव एआई के बारे में भी पता होना चाहिए, लाइव एपीआईज एंड ऑल. कुछ इसके डॉक्यूमेंट्स होते हैं, यू जस्ट गॉन थ्रू. You just search about Google Live APIs and how they can just create it and maintain the models and architecture. Another one is like Fast API and Flask. You have some frameworks knowledge of the backend. How can you can just call the request and how they LLMs and manage your tools and all. PyDente is the basic schema validation. So simple things. Core concept of the understanding some of the agent based agents and LM agents. This is not a prerequisite. This is a required to understand after that you before you go into the development. Okay, so ये चीजें हम सीखेंगे डेट जब डेवलपमेंट से पहले हम ये चीज़ें पूरी सीखेंगे. एंड द बेसिक पाइथन कॉन्सेप्ट्स यू शुड बी नीडेड रिगार्डिंग लाइक द इनहेरिटेंट क्लासेस इन सिंक्रोनस फंक्शंस and threadings and all. Decorators is the another thing which is very important. And one another thing is scrapping. Why this is important for the scrapping? Because it just should be required for the scrapping for maintaining the RAG's concept and vectorizations of their data. And yeah, logging and debugging is the basic content that if you are using in a productions mode and not conceptuals. Okay, and let's move forward with the sixth option, but recommended because like you have a prior knowledge to LangChain, Crew, AI, and AutoGen. LangChain you bit know, like अगर आप AI में interested हो तो LangChain के बारे में आपको जरूर पता होगा. How they can lang graphs and all agents and working. Of course, LangChain का खुद native agents होते हैं all, which is not necessary that which you should use. Okay. Then OpenAI function calling and Gemini tools के बारे में भी आपने सुना ही होगा. REST APIs you very well know. Prompt engineering is very well requirement because Google ADK अभी rely reliable नहीं है कुछ prompts के cases में. I've already tried, but yeah, you should have a prior knowledge how they can prompt working, prompt engineering working. Yeah, we just cover don't worry, we just covered 1 to 2 videos regarding the prompt engineering because ये बहुत necessary है एक Google ADK को train करने के लिए like और जब भी आप queries पूछते हो और उस requirement because they may vary accordingly to the requirements of the LLM agents and tools. Okay, and some of the basic Google documents which is already public, you can just go on through that part. Okay, this is a basic workflow. This is like the maintaining the debt creation of their part, how they can create the LLM agents and all. This is the instruction. This is like the folder structure and directory that you should know before to go into the developments. Yeah, that's all about the prerequisites part. So let's on the next video just moving forward with the basic architecture understanding of the Google ADK. Thank you so much.